Let's go right to Jeff Zeleny. He's covering the Bernie Sanders campaign. He's joining us now from San Diego, California. Bernie Sanders did not do well in Arizona, but he's still hoping for a win in Utah.
He is, Wolf, and I was struck by how Bernie Sanders closed his speech here tonight. It wrapped up just a short time ago, a few minutes ago, and he urged California voters to stick with him, vote for him. Of course, California is the end of the road, the end of this long primary calendar. They vote on June 7th. He had more than 10,000 people here tonight, a big overflow room that he just addressed, but he really is hoping the voters of California will rescue him. But Wolf, the math here, as we've been talking about all night, is so troublesome and problematic for the Sanders campaign. They were hoping for a win in Arizona. They campaigned there very aggressively several times, spent a lot of money, and clearly did not pull out a win there, which they needed to do tonight. But Wolf, I was struck also by how his crowd acts every time his rival is mentioned by name. Every time the name Hillary Clinton is mentioned at all, the crowd boos. He does nothing to stop that. So what we're going to be watching for the next 2 or 3 months or so until June 7th here is how he continues to engage his rival. And he was very tough on her tonight, very aggressive in his talk on Wall Street, on paid speeches, on healthcare and other things. So he is not giving up this fight at all. His supporters are not giving up this fight. So the reconciliation in the Democratic Party is something that's going to be a front and center here of this conversation for the next a couple months or so.
Well, let's see how he does in Utah and Idaho. All right, Jeff, thanks very much. I want to go to Jeff Zeleny. He's covering Bernie Sanders' campaign. He's joining us right now from San Diego with Jeff Weaver, who's the campaign manager. Tell us the latest.
Hi, Wolf. That's right. I am joined by Jeff Weaver here. Jeff, thanks for joining us. So, a tough night in Arizona tonight. Senator Sanders spent a lot of time there. What went wrong?
Well, it's not about what went wrong. I mean, it's early in the night still. Now, I know CNN is projecting that 71% of the vote is in, but I think that is really an underestimation of the number of people who are voting there. Well, we've seen lines in Arizona 4-5 hours long, literally. So based on CNN's calculations and what we know about how many people early voted, that would mean only 100,000 people came out and live voted Democrats in Arizona. I think that that's just wrong. So I think this race is going to close up substantially between now and the morning.
Are you predicting victory in Arizona?
No, I'm not predicting victory, but I'm not predicting defeat either. I mean, we have to wait and see until the votes are counted. There's obviously something wrong with the numbers, and I think once we see where they come down, it may end up being a split of delegates, basically, in Arizona. I do think in other places tonight we're hearing some very good news. So,
as this race goes forward, John King has done a projection, and he says even if you win 55 to 45% in every race going forward, Secretary Clinton still has a lead in pledged delegates. How can you overcome that?
Well, I think we're going to do much better than 55, frankly, in many states. I think you're going to see a couple states tonight, hopefully, where we do much, much better than 55. And I think as we go forward on Saturday, I think some of those states are going to win by much more than 55. So, we're going to start chipping away at the Secretary's delegate lead. In some states, we're going to do much better than 55. We've mapped out a delegate path to victory. It doesn't require us to win every state, but obviously in some states we have to do very well. And so that's what we're going to do.
A state like Wisconsin coming up in April, and New York, and New Jersey, and other things, you would have to win more than 55% of the vote in all these key swing states. Is that possible?
Well, I don't think we have to win more than 55 in each one, right? So some states we're going to do much, much better. Some states we're not going to do quite as well. There are going to be some states we're going to lose between now and the end of the process. There's no doubt about it. But we have a path to victory. It's not an easy path, but it never has been an easy path.
One thing I noticed tonight, so many people in this room were booing whenever Secretary Clinton's name was mentioned. Does Senator Sanders have any responsibility to control the tone of his own rallies?
Well, look, I think the tone at our rallies is fantastic. People come here, they're energized, they're enthusiastic. There are obviously some very big policy differences between Senator Sanders and Secretary Clinton, and I think there are many, many people in the Democratic Party. Frankly, if you poll just on issue positions, a majority of people in the Democratic Party agree with Senator Sanders on the issues and not with Secretary Clinton's more conservative views.
Jeff, thank you very much. Wolf, back to you.
All right, Jeff, thanks to you as well. Thank Jeff Weaver for all of us. So let's go back to Anderson.